if you left it up to the media, we would think that all climate change was about was science and policy, polar bears and falling glaciers.
Our sisters in Uganda are talking to us about the droughts. In India, they're talking to us about floods and droughts.
We just can't continue to have an economy that thrives on infinite growth on a finite planet.
Who's going to make the decisions about what the future of life on this planet looks like? Is it going to be Wall Street financiers, or is it going to be folks from some of the most impacted communities?
Water comes from somewhere. Your lights come from somewhere. Your shoes and clothes and stuff come from somewhere. We're from a community where those things are taken.
We are going through a sort of epic transition. The question is, what is it going to look like on the other side?
The next 10 years will define the next 100 years. And what happens in the next 2 years is going to define the next 10 years. So it puts us on this crazy, crazy timeline.
And in Bali, that was where the climate justice scene really kind of exploded at the United Nations climate conventions.
It's about survival is a frame that you were showing some examples of at the close.
The folk who are doing this work haven't had a lot of chances to be convened and have this specific conversation about new, innovative, creative strategies to address the climate justice movement as it relates to Copenhagen.
Okay, so how is the world, how is corporate America, how is the government talking about climate change? And how do we who are engaged in this work, how are we holding these conversations? What are we saying to people? What are we leaving behind with people? To take action on actively changing the story, I think it's so critical and so vital.
You know, what are people willing to do, and what kind of interventions can we hope, and what's the role of organizing young people at Copenhagen?
So the carbon trading false solution, that kind of leads us into the Indigenous people's role in Copenhagen.
Where has progress and meaningful social change come from? It's come from organized social movements.
The parts behind the scene that I think are really successful, if a movement is successful, and it's a little bit harder to see those. But you see it when a movement sort of, really gains power and is inspiring to other people.
We do need a mass mobilization for climate justice.
Yes, climate change is a global issue, but there are communities both in the global south and in the global north that are disproportionately impacted by this issue.
Think about the journey ahead, not only the road to Copenhagen, but the road beyond, and that the interventions our movements need to make have to shift the underlying assumptions of our culture.
One of the tenets of ecology is that everything is interconnected, and that in diversity comes strength. And so taking those principles and applying them to the movement, climate brings together everything.
If you're interested in seeing social change, now's the time. When I say that, it's an invitation and a challenge to give whatever you've got.
I believe in agency, I believe in ingenuity, I believe in the capacity of human beings to change.